Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So I want to start this video with a very simple question for you, the viewer. If you're looking for a game in a medieval setting, which way do you want to go? Do you want to go on the left with Knight's Path, a game that is promised to not inject any sort of modern agenda into the game, and they're also presenting characters that have appealing designs? Or do you go to the right with 1348X Voto, where they have a bowl haircutted lesbian knight as the main protagonist of the game, with a development team that promises to bring in a modern agenda? Which way do you go? Well, the answer seems pretty obvious right now because the demo for 1348X Voto is absolutely crashing and burning, barely getting over 100 players despite countless articles and puff pieces singing the praises of this game, and also countless viral tweets saying that this game is the next big thing. It's cutting edge, everyone's going to love it, and it's going to own the chuds. Another game that's just going to own the chuds, ladies and gentlemen. But as you can see, this game focuses on the main protagonist, Aita, who is a young knight, a lesbian knight on a journey to rescue her love interests. Now, this game also had its developers come out and say, don't forget to wishlist and note the release on your modern agenda, which is a direct shot at Knight's Path, a very similar game in terms of its ground concept. And let's see how that's working out for them, because they're trying to appeal to who else but the modern audience. And it's working, in a sense. They have over 100,000 wish lists on Steam, a very impressive number, quite frankly. But does that translate into actual interest? Is it all just performative? Well, when your goal is to impress the modern audience with the modern agenda, well, they don't show up. They never do, ladies and gentlemen. This is the current status of the demo. On day 2, it's sitting at 49 in-game players. Now, of course, again, it's a demo, but for over 100,000 wish lists, this is abysmal. Nobody even wants to try this. Okay, despite all of the puff pieces from the media, despite all of the viral tweets saying this is the greatest game ever, we've been asking for something like this for so long, it didn't pan out. The modern audience didn't show up again, and as you can see from the actual chart, it peaked out a few hours ago at 122 players. That is the best the modern audience could shell out for this. It turns out a lot of people are not exactly thrilled about the concept of a bowl haircutted lesbian knights. Okay, it didn't turn out to be as appealing to the main demographic of people that they thought it would. Now, of course, as I always say, there is an audience for this. There are people who are looking forward to this game. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's their thing, that's their preference. But I'm just saying, don't sit here and act like this is going to appeal to a wider audience. A lot of people are looking at this and they're just scratching their heads as to why anyone thought this would appeal to some sort of a greater audience when it's niche. And also the developers have an attitude, not just about detractors, but competitors. Like, for example, Knight's Path. Like, they have a serious bone to pick with them, and I think that shows through again in a recent interview with some of the cast behind 1348X Voto, where they talked about several things, including the bowl haircut. In fact, these individuals think not only is the bowl haircut historically accurate, they think it's very hot.
This fair damsel to rise.
Oh! Gah! That's not fair.
The world isn't fair.
What I will say about Aita's bowl cut is, I think it's quite hot. and historically accurate. Historically accurate. So back off, haters. Haters of the bowl cut.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments section, let me know your thoughts on this design. Do you agree with their assessment of this bowl haircut on this female knight? Is it really tickling your fancy? Do you really enjoy this? Is this what you've been waiting for? Let me know. But yeah, there was another part of this that was very interesting. They made a comment about her bowl haircut being historically accurate. And that, to me, is very important. Why? Because they are trying to take another shot at Knight's Path. That is my genuine belief, because a lot of people are attacking Knight's Path for not being historically accurate. And a lot of the people who are saying that are fans of 1348X Voto, which is very funny given the concept of the game. But of course, all of this just serves as more promotion for Knight's Path. This game is giving the general audience what they want and saying and doing what people actually generally want. For example, one of the female characters you can form a romantic relationship with in the game looks like this. And of course, a lot of people are happy to see an appealing design like this. But of course, the detractors and a lot of the people who are fans of 1348X Voto, they look at this and they call it gooner bait. Or they say it's historically inaccurate because she has some eyeshadow, right? They're freaking out over that, but they're very excited to go play 1348X Voto with the lesbian knight. It's a very interesting dichotomy there. And also, the developers of Knight's Path got a lot of goodwill while also annoying the worst people by saying basically they don't care about modern agendas in their game. And that won over a lot of people. And compare that, of course, to what was said by the developers of 1348X Voto. And it works for Knight's Path. They have 200,000 wish lists. And I will be very interested to see how those numbers actually pan out. But there's this amazing dichotomy right here, right? You see the difference. One side not caring about a modern agenda, the other side caring about a modern agenda. In both games, at their ground level, have a similar theme. It plays out very differently, but it is a medieval setting that is supposed to be the foundation. But they're going very different routes, not just with the sort of storyline, but also with the attitude of the developers and their social media team. Now, one of the big things, of course, the biggest selling point, at least according to games journalists when it comes to 1348X Voto, is that, well, it has a queer love story. And that's what they got right now. That's what they got, okay? They're really hammering it home because somehow that makes the game good. The bar is so low for people like this. It's actually unbelievable. But as you can see, again, in that same interview we just saw from about a week ago, they directly talked about this.
I really passionately want to tell LGBTQ plus stories.
Ayata, she's slightly genderqueer in that, like, people mistake her for being a boy and a man, and she's like, yeah, great.
It's not a coming out story. It's not your usual fare. I've not seen that very often in games or in just in media in general.
I do think everyone would love it.
Well, boy howdy, was it not clear? They're going with the modern agenda. Okay, they're making it very clear, abundantly clear to everyone that is a very big focus of this game. And when that is the big focus and selling point of your game, that sounds like trouble. That sounds like the rest of the story, the rest of the game, the rest of the product isn't that interesting. If that has to be one of the main selling points worth talking about. And they're trying to tell this story and they're trying to score brownie points. And you know what? You get the seal claps on social media. Of course, right? That's what you get when you come out and try to promote anything that has to do with identity politics or anything related to it. That's the route they're going, and they're making it very clear. And as we've seen with the demo, it's not panning out, and it's not too surprising. The modern audience, these activists, these games journalists, all of them, it's so shallow. Their support is so shallow and meaningless at the end of the day because they say all these things, they support all these tweets, but when it comes to brass tacks, they don't show up. You can see, for example, this interview getting 9,000 likes, which, you know, typically like a longer form video, even if it's just 3 minutes, you're not likely to get a ton of interaction, a ton of likes. So that's a pretty impressive number. Now, let me show you this. This is the wish list promotion. This is the link provided underneath that interview. It has 200 likes. 9,000 versus 200. So the people actually going and interacting with this, even if that just means signing up for a wish list, like, you know, you're not even like buying the game, right? That difference is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And you know what, guys, I'll be honest with you, the writing was on the wall for this game. As soon as the story trailer came out about 4 weeks ago on the official PlayStation account, you knew things were cooked. I mean, anyone with eyeballs and looking at this objectively, you see, number one, the official PlayStation account with nearly 17 million subscribers, polling 125,000 views in 4 weeks promoting this game. The like to dislike ratio, as expected with anything promoting the modern agenda, 3,600 likes versus 14,000 dislikes. Not good. The comment section, abysmal. Okay, let's read some of them. Let's end this on a light note. Let's read some of the comments. I am surprised they leave the comment section open. I will give them that. Okay, you know what? Yeah, hats off. Because most of these companies nowadays, when they have a game that's getting disliked heavily, they turn off the comments. So good for them, I guess. Or maybe they just kind of forgot to turn it off. But anyways, next one says, it's fascinating how they avoided showing the characters talking. The mouth animation must be terrifying. Can't wait to play Knight's Path. Isn't that amazing, ladies and gentlemen? 1348X Boto is literally the best promotion for Knight's Path. I've never seen two games, again, at their foundation, similar themes at their foundation, coming out at similar times and just going completely different paths. Modern agenda on one side, rejection of modern agenda on the other, and one is working and one is not. Another comment says they never leer. We got to send them to the leering center. Maybe they'll learn a thing or two. I paused the video to look right into the comments. I am not disappointed. Missed opportunity not to name the MC Sir What? Oh, okay, guys. Okay. Modern audiences will surely show up this time. Trust. I feel like there is a room full of completely out of touch boomers, and they're also in the room. There is a group of like young, your typical like Twitter user type age activist, and they're convincing these people, yeah, this one right here, look at all the likes we're getting on Twitter. Can you even comprehend how many sales we're gonna get? And they believe it because they have no idea what's going on. Knight's Path in my wish list. Oh goodness, it just keeps going. It's so refreshing to see devs and investors no longer caring if their game makes money. You know what? I kind of care. This industry is collapsing, man. It's because people there's no good products out there. It's so terrible. This will end up for free on PSN Pride Month. Oh, goodness. I'm a non-binary. Well, that's very brave of you to come out and share your identity with us. Man. I predict Dragon Age the Veilguard levels of quote-unquote success for this game. You know, I love being told over and over again games like that were a massive hit. Own the chuds, and then find out a few months later what everyone was saying who looked at those sorts of games objectively were right, because the studios are shutting down and the related publishers are reporting massive losses. It's just a cycle that will seemingly never end until people start to learn. But yeah, that's the situation with 1348X Voto. This is an absolute disaster. This demo, not looking good. A demo is never 100% proof a game will succeed or not, but it does give you an idea of how much genuine interest there is in this game, and so far, it's not looking good. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.